Hey there, Everpony. I'm Dulcitone, the Pony of Harmonics, and welcome to the next installment of Headcanon, the show that gets theories so accurate, Reddit has to flag it as a spoiler, apparently. What if I told you there was a secret genius in Ponyville? Some pony that knew more than Twilight and remembers more than Pinkie Pie. This pony has lived his entire life in the shadows of others, watching, waiting. It took embarrassing himself completely to reveal it to the world. I'm of course talking about Big Mac. Let's light the fuse. Big Mac has a memory superior to anyone on the show. This includes Cadence, who knows the name of every crystal pony in the Empire, and Pinkie Pie, who knows the names and birthdays of every pony in Ponyville. First off, there's a couple of definitions for enhanced memory we need to pin down. The type of memory I'm going to talk about today is eidetic memory, which is commonly known as photographic memory. Essentially, you can take a look at an image for a short amount of time and then recall small details about the image with heightened accuracy. Infants and children tend to exhibit photographic memory, but it tends to disappear before adulthood, and there are very few adults that claim to have this ability. Eidetic memory has been used as a plot device and character feature in many a show in the past, from crime dramas to anime. However, there is another type of memory, mnemonic. Mnemonic memory is a special type of enhanced memorization by using special techniques to recall that information. It's a learned art that anyone can pick up. That means that if you have mnemonic memory, you can recall even seemingly random information quickly and effectively. It's been marketed as a studying technique and is also used as a parlor trick. Now let's take a look at Season 5, Episode 17 of MLP, Brotherhood Social.
Well, I do declare it's harder today than the business end of a corncob pie.
When Big Mac dons his Orchard Blossom persona, he and Apple Bloom compete in a series of events with little to no preparation. The first event was the singing competition, where he knew the lyrics of Sisterhood. No, I will not be making a review of that song, it hurts my ears just to put this video together. The second event was the cheering competition, which he seemed to know the original lyrics to, but then flubbed once it was changed. The third was jumping rope, which apparently Big Mac can't jump at will. Well, whatever. The fourth was the juggling routine, which he failed because he was wearing high-heeled shoes. So what does any of this tell about his memory? We already know that Mac is very observant, and is a good singer since he is a part of the Ponytones. He got Sisterhood essentially correct until he got too wrapped up in the song. This could speak to either type of memory, as Mac could have memorized it quickly enough through mnemonics, or watched the sisters perform it and recall it through eidetics. Well, instead of looking at what he got right, let's look at what he got wrong. The cheering competition was pretty much the same memorization principle as Sisterhood. It seemed like the both of them had the original down, but when they had to change it up because of the Orchard Blossom being a cousin, they started messing it up. Now, if Big Mac had a mnemonic memory, he would have been able to memorize this chant without an issue. But that's not the case with eidetic memory. You see, eidetic memory is experience-based, and if they changed up the words just before the competition, he wouldn't have experienced it. However, the biggest proof is in the juggling. Juggling requires a lot of practice to get down correctly, and it was clear that Apple Bloom would have had to practice long and hard with Applejack to do it right. Big Mac screws it up when the footwear he uses is getting in the way. Now look back at what he says.
Why, I knew that juggling routine like the back of my hoof.
How would he have known this without practicing it himself? Because he watched Applejack do it, and could recall it in detail. That's not something that can be memorized. That's something that has to be observed or experienced. This is clearly a case of eidetic memory. But even with an eidetic memory, there's something amiss here. People that claim to have an eidetic memory can recall images and details they've seen, still images that they can recall and examine. However, it seems like he's getting more than that. He's gotten sounds and motion with his memory, almost as if he's replaying a YouTube video on loop and staring at it for hours on end until he knows every single frame. Big Mac is showing signs of Hyperthymesia, highly superior autobiographical memory, or HSAM for short. Those who have HSAM can recall every detail of their lives, the sights, the sounds, the smells, even how they felt at the time. But they can't recall details of things they've never experienced. People with HSAM are actually quite mediocre students because everything that they're asked to memorize didn't happen to them. Big Mac has been quietly observing the Apple family, recording their experiences in his mind, and he's able to recall that and emulate it, down to the motions they use. If you've ever played Mass Effect 2 or 3, the character Thane describes himself as having a perfect memory.
Drell have perfect memories. We can relive any moment in our lives with perfect clarity. Thinking about a moment brings back the smell of cut grass, the warmth of another's hand on yours.
This is HSAM. However, HSAM isn't considered an ability, it's considered an affliction. For the advantage in remembering everything also has the disadvantage of forgetting nothing. HSAM is also known for being a constant and uncontrollable force, unable to stop recalling the past and concentrating on the present. It can be used and manipulated through trigger mechanisms to call forth specific memories, but left to its own devices, it can wander anywhere. In 2006, a woman ironically known as AJ was subject to the study on HSAM. She claimed that she could remember everything starting from when she was 14 years old, even citing the date and day it started. The actress Mary Lou Henner also claims to have the same, starting from when she was 11. They're both described it as a constant recollection, like a split screen or picture-in-picture, where the present is happening at the same time they're reliving the past. AJ herself called it a burden, a physically and mentally exhausting process. Those with HSAM are often described as seeming disjointed, unsociable, and lost in thought most of the time. Now look at Big Mac. Throughout the entire show, he's always been silent, yupping and noping his way through life, always watching, trying to take in what he can. His time in the Ponytones had to be the happiest of his life, because he was able to use his ability for good, allowing his memory to take front stage and perform exactly like he did before. And recalling Applejack's movements in the juggling routine might have worked if he hadn't worn those shoes. And that monologue at the end of the episode?
When you were little, you used to look up to me. Thought I was the best thing since Zap Apple Jam. Things are different now.
Imagine how difficult that was to do when all the memories and regrets are rushing through your head at the exact same time. It took you putting on a dress and making a fool of yourself to do it, buddy, but now we can understand you better than ever. Big Mac not only has an eidetic memory, but has hyperthymesia. But what is that really? It's nothing special, it's just my headcanon. Thanks for watching.